being able to turn into job descriptions, you have reached the right video. Most of the time, people are not necessarily positioning themselves in the most strategic way. So you may be having people look at your resume, but for some reason something's missing. So I want to share with you a strategy or several strategies that will absolutely help you be able to speak better about yourself on your resume that will help you to get views. And we're going to talk about ways you can fix these errors when they come up. Now, I want to preface this by saying that this is going to be a very high-level overview in terms of how you can do better with your resume, because you're going to have those situations where your resume is just not getting views and you want to know what's going on, why is this not working, why am I not being called for interviews? Well, we're going to talk about that today. I'm going to give you some high-level strategies for you to consider and think about. I do want to also mention to you that if you are seriously in the process of trying to look for another position and you're sending your resume out to everywhere, right? You're sending your resume out to everywhere and nothing is happening. You're not getting any calls from interviews. There's something going on with your resume. And if you want some customized support that will absolutely be able to help you gain more structure and gain a expert level view of your resume and how you can change it, then reach out to me. Contact me at info@exciteexcellence.org. I'd be happy to help you on your journey and provide you with an in-depth analysis of your resume that will actually be able to help you accelerate your positions and your growth, because you're going to have C-suite experience. Over the past 20 years, I've been a director, a manager, a C-suite executive, and a public speaker, and an executive coach. So I've had a tremendous amount of time looking at hundreds of resumes, doing hundreds of interviews. And so I know the things that are important that you need to have on your resume. So definitely reach out to me. I will support you on your journey and help you to move forward. Now, as people are joining, feel free to leave a comment below. Let me know if you have any questions. If this information is helping you, feel free to like this video. It gets out to more people if you do. And feel free to put what country you're joining from, just so that I'm aware and that we know. I'm going to go ahead and go into the first strategy I want to share with you in terms of why your resume is not getting views and what you can do to fix it. The very first thing that you need to do as it relates to your resume is to look at your keywords. Your keywords are very important. We are in a different day and age now where resumes are going through different filtering systems, and there are computer generated softwares, AI, and things like that are skimming through resumes. And one of the mistakes that I see people often make with their resumes is that they are not using the correct keywords. They're using keywords that they think are good or relevant to have, but what I encourage you to do to make this as a non-issue for you is to really look at the job description you're applying for. If you're applying for a manager position and the job description has oversight management, then what will help you be able to accelerate your growth and your ability to have your resume reviewed instead of having views on it where no one's taking a look at it, then make sure you use some of those keywords. So if this information is helpful to you, feel free to leave me some comments, leave me some questions, any questions you all have about your resume. Do you want to put some information about your resume in the script in the chat, and I will provide you with some direct insight right now. So if you have anything, let me know. I'll help you. And if this information is helpful to you, then feel free to subscribe and let me know. All right. Well, before I go into the second tip, I want to say hello to GIR. Hello, welcome, welcome. I'm glad you are here today. Feel free to place what country you are joining from, so that we all know. And we are talking about why your resume is not getting views and how you can fix it. That is what we're talking about today. So we're focusing all in on your resume. And I'm sharing with you over 20 years worth of experience in the next 10 minutes that will automatically fast track you to that next level when you're thinking about your resume. So we just talked about keywords. Keyword optimization is important. You will need to look at your job description and make sure your job description that it's present, that some of those keywords have been placed from the job description onto your resume. Because as I mentioned, there's filtering systems that's what they look for, is these keywords. They're looking to see if the keyword is there. And if your company is using that, if you don't have those keywords there, your resume is going to get completely just bypassed and somebody else's resume is going to come into place. So make sure you're using those keywords to help you be able to not make that type of mistake. That will automatically help you to get more views. Now, my second strategy for you to help you get more views on your resume is to make sure that it is very clear. It needs to be very, very clear in terms of what it is that you have to offer and how you can be able to help a company. So bolded words are great, especially when it comes to results. So if you have increased a percentage of client acquisition, or you've been able to enhance or decrease a collections rate, or whatever the specific terms or results are in your specific industry, then this is an opportunity for you to put those in bold. Bold always catches everyone's attention. So that's the purpose of bold font, so that you can know exactly what you're looking at and be able to see it. So you want to make sure that any results you have are in bold, and to make sure everything looks very condensed, very concise, and very neat in terms of the resume itself, because that will actually help you tremendously as you are being filtered through the process to look at other resumes. What I want to share with you is something that is a secret from the hiring manager side. We receive a lot of resumes, and I talked about this recently on a live last week where we talked about how the most important part of your resume is the very beginning. So your name, your address, and all of that, it's important. But that objective, that summary, that professional summary or profile, that is critically important. And as a hiring manager, we get a lot of resumes, and right now the job market is very, very competitive. So if we see your resume, we're probably going to look at it for 5, perhaps 7 seconds. And that just depends on how fast your manager reads. If your manager is a speed reader like myself, it might be less than that. Like, we can read it really quickly and see if this is somebody that we want to engage with, or if it's something that we may want to read more into. So having it look very clean, very bolded, in great font that's visible, that does not have too many bullet points but has enough information where it showcases your expertise, is the absolute best way for you to get more views on your resume. So I want to know from you, what are some things or some challenges that you have noticed that you have been experiencing with your resume? Have you had those situations come up where you're applying for jobs, and you're hearing crickets? Has it ever happened? I know it's happened to me many years ago, and I know how incredibly frustrating it can be when you're placing all this time, all this energy, all this effort into applying to a lot of positions, but nothing is happening, which is the reason why you are watching this video, and hopefully subscribe to my channel so that you can learn more ways to help elevate yourself as a leader. Now, we've talked about 2 different strategies so far. So if you're just now joining, welcome, welcome. Glad you are here today. Thank you so much for spending a few moments out of your day with me to talk about a very important topic. The first strategy that we discussed was to really think about your keywords. Keywords are extremely important as you are developing your skills, and definitely with your resume. So whatever's on your job description, definitely you need to have it in your resume. The second strategy that we discussed was to make sure that you have yourself in a way where your resume looks very, very appropriate, very clean, bolded, in all bold font, the areas where you have results that you want to share so you stand out more. Now, I'm going to share with you the third. The third is actually one of the most important that I see a lot of clients make mistakes in, and I want you to not make these mistakes. Are you ready? Because this is a good one. And this is one that people do not talk about that they really, really should. Okay, so if you're ready, type ready in the chat, because I'm about to tell you something that people are not talking about. So when you are at a position, especially in your career, where you are trying or making that attempt to transition into a higher role, perhaps you are in a place where you are in a management role and you are trying to go to a senior management role, or you may be at a level where you are not a manager and you're trying to transition to a manager, or you may be in a place where you are already at a executive level, but you're trying to go to the next level up. You cannot put those same skills on your resume that was able to get you to the position you're at now. We have to position your resume in such a way that incorporates those amazing experiences that you have, but it also shows that you have the ability to go even higher in your role. Oftentimes, people do not make that transition. They'll come in with their resumes, and their resumes will say the exact same thing they did for the past 10, 15 years, but they're at a place where they are wanting to advance in their careers, and they want to go into a career transition where they are going to a higher level. And your resume needs to reflect those higher level skills if you're trying to go for a higher level position. So really take a look at the job description and see what it says. We talked about keywords, that's important. But there's another aspect of keywords that people are not talking about, and that is really how to transition yourself to that next level. And you have to have someone to give you some insight in terms of how you can do that. How can you use your skills that you currently have that can be translated into management? That is probably the most common question that I am asked all of the time, is how can I translate my skills that I have into a management role or to an even senior management role? And the best way for you to do it is to put it in the perspective of a hiring manager. And that's why you can reach out to me. I'll provide you with some in-depth insight and review your resume and be able to give you customized video support in terms of what you need to do to change that, and really be able to identify what are some skills that we probably want to include on your resume. So these are perfect things to keep in mind. You want to transition to that next role, you'll need to have your resume look like it's at that next level. So that's something to keep in mind as you're moving forward in your journey to improve your resume. Now, for those of you who are just now joining, we have talked about several strategies that will help you if you are not getting views on your resume. We talked about strategies and how you can fix them. So the first strategy is to make sure you are optimizing your resume for the keywords that are listed in your job description. Learn more about that. Definitely watch the replay. The second is to make sure that your resume is very clean. It should have your results that you accomplished in bold font so that people will quickly be able to see what you have accomplished. And third, which is very, very important, is to position yourself for that higher level position. If you are using your resume with the same role, same responsibilities you've been doing for years, and you're trying to go into a manager role, it's going to be very difficult for you to make that transition if your resume does not show that you have those higher level skills. So you want to be very, very mindful of that. These are guaranteed ways that will help you to help your resume get more views and to look more polished so that you can have different employment opportunities. Now, I encourage you all, if this information has been helpful to you, feel free to like this video, share it with anyone that is in the process of looking for positions. I know there's a lot going on right now. There's many people that have been laid off from positions, or positions have been terminated. And I know it's competitive right now, and there's a lot of people that are really, really stressed, about the process. But I encourage you, if you want to have someone just take a look at your resume, if you're wanting to really level up your skills, then reach out to me. I've been a C-suite executive. I've looked at hundreds of resumes. I've been a manager. I've been a director for 20 years, and I will be able to provide you in a very short amount of time what strategically you need to do to reposition yourself in a way to where your resume looks better and presents that very best version of yourself. So I want to know from you, what was your favorite strategy out of the video today? Which one did you like the most? Which strategy would you like to start working on first on your own personal resume? Please leave it in the comments below. And if you have any questions specifically as it relates to your resume and being able to enhance it and make it better, then let me know. I'm here to support you on your journey. You're welcome to reach out to me at info@exciteexcellence.org, or you can follow me on LinkedIn and on Instagram as well. I'm there, and I am available to provide you with some additional insight. So if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. There's several videos I have on my channel that will absolutely help you in this process as you are trying to move forward. And the videos that I would recommend are linked in the description below, or actually linked as a related video for this video. So that will help you. I hope to see you all very soon, and I hope you have a great day. Bye for now.